Hi guys, how you doing? Dave here. I thought I'd shoot this little video today because a lot of people have said things in the past, you've got a really unique, interesting style, what are your influences, that kind of thing. So I thought I would, show you some of the bass players that really influenced me. I'm going to try and do it chronologically so you can kind of see what stage of my playing different people sort of came in and changed the way I thought about doing things and that kind of thing. So I'll start off with why I even played bass in the first place, and that's actually to do with my dad. Both my brother and my dad are guitarists, and when I was 10 or 11-ish, I think, I wanted to play guitar. And so I asked for my birthday or Christmas or whatever it was for an electric guitar, and my dad said, "Nah, you don't want to play guitar, you want to play bass. Bass is way cooler, and we've already got 2 guitarists in the family, you should play bass." And not that I necessarily agreed with him, or at least at the time. I went along with it, and we went and got, I think it was an Encore short scale bass kind of thing. I never really picked it up. I learnt a couple of things like Leonard Skinner and Zeppelin and stuff just to jam along with my brother and my dad, but never really took it that seriously because I was just kind of under the impression that it was kind of boring. It was a bit uninspiring to play by itself, and in a band context all we did was follow the root notes and that kind of thing. And just for the record, I think there's I think that is valid still, there is definite time and place for being virtuoso on a bass, and there's a lot to be said for playing root notes and holding everything down. But at the time that just wasn't cool. I wanted to play guitar, I wanted to be a lead guitarist, that kind of thing. So anyway, it kind of sat there for a couple of years, and one of my dad's colleagues came round, and he said, you're the bass player. And I was like, yeah, I play a bit of bass, that kind of thing. And he said, right, I've got something for you. And he handed me this CD, and he put it on. I listened to it, and we listened to it in the kitchen, and he was there as well. And I heard this wicked guitar sound. Again, I still wanted to be a guitarist, and I heard this wicked, it was just a really interesting guitar sound, and this guy's like shredding away. And I was going, wow, that's really cool. And he turned around and said, what do you reckon? I was like, yeah, the guitarist is amazing, awesome. He said, guitarist? That was a bass, dude. And my mind was just like blown. And that guy was Stanley Clark, and the track was School Days. So I'm going to play a little snippet now, and I'll put the full link in the description, along with all the other, top 5 influential bass players. All the links will be in the description. I'll play a little segment. So this is Stanley Clark. It's a live one. And the track is called School Days. If you haven't heard of Stanley Clark, go and check him out, he's amazing. So here's the track. And yeah, as you can see, he's just a bit of a monster really. And for his generation as well, he was quite sort of groundbreaking, a lot of chord strumming and shredding. He actually plays a piccolo bass, which is partly why it has that sound that it's got. So he was the first bass player that I was kind of like, wow, you can do more than just root notes with a bass. And so that kind of got me going really. I spent the next sort of couple of years working really hard to try and play like Stanley Clark, and just hammered a load of that. And that was really important for me, that whole thing, because I kind of wasn't really that inspired with bass up until that point. So that was Stanley Clark's School Days. I've come back inside because my camera ran out of battery, so that's why the sudden change of scenery. So that was the first sort of guy that made me really go, yeah, that's really, really cool. I'm going to work on my bass playing. I want to be that good, that kind of thing. So a couple of years passed, and my dad's best man had a son who had a studio in London. So my dad took us down there for a week or so or whatever, and we wrote some tunes and had to play around in the studio, and actually it was that trip that got me into doing the audio engineering and stuff as well. But whilst we were down there was a band rehearsing called Tunguska Butterfly, and they were all really nice guys, and I must have been about, I guess about 11, 12, no, I guess yeah, probably about 12, maybe 13, and I asked them whether I could sit in and watch them rehearsing and that kind of thing. And they were, yeah, no worries. So I went down and sat in the rehearsal room with them, and it just blew my mind. All of them were just insane musicians, doing kind of, I guess, jazz metal. I mean, the genre is, I think, way more common now, that kind of progressive music, but at least back then it didn't seem quite as mainstream anyway. And they just absolutely blew my mind. And in particular, Sam Warren, the bass player, just his approach and tone, like he was the first guy that I saw, playing with distortion on his bass and like tapping stuff and slapping and strumming, and I don't know, it encompassed a lot of things, and I just saw a lot of things that I'd never seen before and heard sounds that I'd not heard out of a bass. As this video progresses, you'll probably work out that that's kind of what I've been drawn to really in terms of influences is the people that thought outside the box, I guess. And so yeah, he had a really, at least to me, unique sound, and actually I still think he's got a very unique sound. I can always tell when he's playing bass, and he's a really nice guy. And I actually have the bass that his first bass was a Warwick Corvette Babinga one, and yeah, he wrote everything and recorded everything on that bass. He didn't have any other ones until, I don't know, probably about 4 years ago, when he eventually got a 5-string, and he actually sold me his bass. So I'm kind of fortunate because despite him being a friend, he is quite an influence on me, and so it's kind of like having your idol's instrument, his actual instrument that he did everything on, and that's really, really cool. So yeah, this is a little snippet actually taken from the live room at that studio. The Malk, the owner, he used to have a little festival every year for his birthday, and he'd get sort of all his favourite bands down to play and stuff. And this video was actually shot by my brother. Tunguska Butterfly don't really do much anymore these days, but you can check out Sam in a few other projects. He's in a band called Let's Meet Jesus, who are wicked. Who the singer from that band is actually the guy that does all my tattoo work. Spike, he's a legend. So check out them. He also plays for Guapo, who are a wicked kind of prog crazy band. And he also plays for a band called Thumper Monkey, who are also another prog band that are wicked. So check all of those out. I'll stick all of their links in the description as well. But this is Tunguska Butterfly. That was an awesome show. It was really fun. Yeah, they just nailed it, had it. They just got a certain energy and craziness and erraticness that I love. And they were the first bands that I found that I couldn't nod along to. And that was quite an influential thing as well. So it wasn't just the approach that Sam had to playing the bass. It was like, I don't know, their meters, the way that they wrote their time signatures and their song structures and harmonies and stuff, all of it was just new to me, and absolutely blew my mind. So I guess the first sort of seed was sown for progressive music really when I found them, and so they're a massive influence on me as a band, but also Sam as a bass player, and he did quite a lot of the songwriting in Tunguska. So yeah, he's a massive influence. So, moving on, another few years, I guess. Actually, probably not even that, maybe just a year. And I started a band with my brother and two of my best mates from high school. A girl called Freya, who's a wicked singer, still is a wicked singer. And a guy called James Cassells, which you guys may know as the drummer from Asking Alexandria. We started a band... and we did really well actually. It was a cool little band, but Freya introduced me, or found a band called Primus and played me them, and that was another sort of big influential moment really. Les Claypool, the singer and bass player, it's kind of his thing really, and again he just had a really unique sound, really unique tone. I don't know, he had an really interesting technique. I just loved everything about the way he kind of approached his songwriting and his bass playing. And so again, I set myself on a mission to just learn as much Primus as I could. And this is one of my favourite little bass lines. I'll play it now. And you can check out the full video in the description below. But yeah, Primus was another big influence on me. So yeah, I hammered that, and eventually I left my school and went to music college in Leeds, which is where I met Beer, and then I guess in turn met Ben as well. But I met Beer at Leeds College of Music, and yeah, so I guess up until that point they were my main kind of influences. I guess what else kind of happened? I guess around a similar time I found Tool, just in Chancellor, and that was really cool because they were properly successful, you know, and they're quite a bass and drum driven band. Actually, all of them are just wicked, but you know, the bass lines were really cool. That was the first time that I kind of really noticed a bass player blurring bar lines, playing across other people, and so that influenced my approach to writing quite a lot. He took kind of he'd write a lot of really cool riffs, you know, a lot of Tool tracks. When you think about them, it's the bass line that comes to mind first, and that's really cool. And the way that he kind of thought about playing with polyrhythms across the band and having bass parts that roll over the top and eventually resolve and that kind of thing. So Tool, you know, Justin from Tool was quite a big influence for me. That's probably the next sort of chronological one. All of these, like Primus, Tool, and this next one, all kind of happened at a very similar age. And yeah, I guess this last bass player that was really influential on me is Ryan Martinie, from Mudvayne. I was, you know, big into my metal music, but for the most part I found a lot of bass players in metal to be kind of a bit, I don't know, boring. You know, they had a heaviness, but I don't know, something about the bass playing in metal just didn't really grab me for the most part. And I listened to some Mudvayne. It was actually James from Asking Alexandria that got me into Mudvayne, and it was this video actually that he showed me, and yeah, this, I don't know, his aggression and again technique just blew me away. His tone, he's just got such an aggressive style in this like mid growly. It just sounds like in this video he's dressed as a devil, and I think his bass sounds like the sort of noise I'd expect the devil to make. There's just loads of weird little noises, and he taps the guitar, the bass, and I don't know. Yeah, he in the genre, he was the first person that I heard going, right, he's playing the sort of music that I want to play, at the time at least, and he's doing everything that I'd want to do with it. He's implementing loads of different techniques, playing with time signatures, blurring bar lines. He's got a wicked tone. It's just aggressive and in your face, and yeah, that I really got into. So this is Dig by Mudvayne, and the bass player is Ryan Martinie. Check it out. Again, the full video will be in the description below. So yeah, that's Mudvayne, Dig, and I don't know, yeah, he's just wicked. So that's pretty much my top 5 kind of most influential bass players, as it were. And hopefully you enjoyed this little video, and go ahead and check out all those guys if you don't already know them. Yeah, if you've got any other ideas for little videos that you might want me to do, stick them in the comment section. Obviously go and head over to my channel as well, subscribe there. I'm very aware that it's in the past anyway, my track record of actually doing videos is very low, but I intend to try and change that, as always. Now that I don't have a studio anymore, my time has freed up a bit, so hopefully I'll be able to shoot some more. So head over to my channel as well, give that a like, subscribe, all that kind of thing, and I'll catch you guys soon. Take it easy. I have been Dave.